So the Brampton market is down about $80,000, and that's just within the last 3 months. And that's not the worst of it. If you've been looking in Brampton, or if you own a house in Brampton, you know it's always one of the busiest markets in all of GTA, at least as long as I've been working. So for that to get shaken up and actually go down in prices, that's a big shock, because if it's happening there, you can guarantee it's going to happen pretty much all over the place. But in this video, I'm going to cover Brampton, and I'm going to give you guys 4 key stats about Brampton and what's going on in the market. A lot of these stats you will not find in all the other real estate videos, because nobody wants to talk about the bad. Everybody wants to talk about how how great the market is. But I think it's important to know the truth. So let's go over these 4 key stats. I'm going to go jump on my computer screen right now. Let's get started. So first of all, let me apologize for the bad lighting. I am relying on the sun here. I do not have fancy lighting, so it comes and goes. So it might get pretty dark. So I apologize for that. Okay, anyways, let's get started on the Brampton market stats. Okay, the stats that we're going to cover, that I was mentioning, the 4 key stats that show how the market's doing, which way it's heading, are average prices, new listings that came up that month, cancellations of listings, and days on market. So as we go along, I'll explain the importance of each one. Okay, so what I did was I did detached homes, if I can get this to work. Detached homes, average sales prices. And as you can see here, these are crazy numbers. Like, these are like Oakville numbers back in the day. Average sale price for a detached home in January, 1.65. That's for a detached in Brampton only. And you can see in March that's gone down to 1.57. So that's about like 80 grand within 2-3 months. So that shows you which way the market's heading. Like $80,000 drop when the spring is coming. Spring always does better than winter. Winter's supposed to be the slow months. So if anything, this was supposed to be around like 1.7, but it's not. And I have a feeling in April it's going to be around the same or even lower. So that's good to know if you want to know which way the market's going. It's not just detached homes. I pulled up stats for semi-detached as well. In January, they were at about 1.23. In March, they're at 1.18. Okay, so same thing, about $70,000 drop just within 2-3 months. Okay, so this one here, new listings. New listings. Why is that important? Just basic supply and demand. If there's a lot more listings on the market, there's less panic within the buyer's market to go crazy during multiple offers. So because they know that if I lose out on one house, more than likely 1 or 2 are going to come up next week. So they don't go as crazy. There's less desperation. Okay, so in January there was only like 400 listings came up. In March, over 1,000 listings came up. Okay, so that's good to know if you want to know how the market's doing. This one I think is the most important, which I don't see get covered by a lot of other real estate videos. Cancellations of listings. This is all homes, not just detached homes. Why do listings get canceled? Most likely 2 reasons. One is the seller's situation just changed. The family situation changed. They don't want to sell anymore, so they call their agent, hey, just cancel it and I'll call you back in a couple of years. So that's one reason. It doesn't happen a lot, so it's a very small chance that that's the reason. Second, more likely reason is that they were not getting the price that they wanted. So maybe the agent suggested, you know what, this strategy is not working, this price is not working, so why don't we just cancel the listing, relist it at a new price, 0 days on the market, just fresh start. More than likely, that's what happens. Now, there's no reason to cancel the listing in a hot market because everything is selling. So 60 listings were canceled in January and 675 in March. So that shows you, like, a lot of these homes that were asking these ridiculous prices, that's not working anymore. So sometimes nowadays the bidding war date has come and gone and nothing happened, and the agents like kind of like, oh, okay, the strategy didn't work, we relisted as at a lower price. Okay. The last stat I think that's important to know is days on market. Days on market, what I did was I just went back all the way to January and I just put off minimum 2 weeks to sell. Okay, another stat you don't see in a lot of other real estate videos because it does take some work. So in January, 648 listings sold. This is all homes, and 42 of them took longer than 2 weeks to sell. Because as you remember, everything was selling like 2 days, 4 days, 5 days. And if it took like a week, that was intentional because they were trying to get like a multiple offer situation going. So 42 listings took longer than 2 weeks to sell. In March, that jumped up to 111. Now, it's not like a crazy number. It's not like 1,000 listings or anything like that. So, but it is an indicator of the market slowing down because this should have been, especially with the spring approaching where more buyers are looking, this should have been like around the 40 or 50 mark just because spring is busier than winter. But it's jumped up. So those are the 4 stats that I want to share with you guys. Hopefully that helped. In this video, I just wanted to focus on Brampton, but in the next few weeks, I'll also cover Burlington, Oakville, Milton, Mississauga, just so you can see how they all connect. But I can guarantee you, because Brampton is always one of the busiest markets ever, so if it's hitting Brampton like this, you can almost guarantee that without even running the stats, I can almost guarantee that they're going to be very similar to this one. So hopefully you found this helpful. No sales pitch here. The only thing I would ask, if you did enjoy the video, maybe just subscribe to the channel because it does kind of give me encouragement to kind of keep making these videos to see if anyone's watching at all or not. All right, I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.